Hey Raiders, Mr. Engel here. Today's special guest, Mr. Gaska, our area advisor and just wonderful supporter of all things that we do here at Southwest in regards to campus security. We want to kind of come on today and talk a little bit about yesterday and just moving forward, making sure that we're clear about our procedures here at campus. Number one thing regarding safety and security here in our campus is everyone has to wear your ID. Get used to wearing it all the time while you're here at school, even in class, but absolutely no one will be leaving the classroom to go anywhere without your ID. If you need to see how to get a replacement ID, remember that's $2, and see Ms. Rodriguez in the front, and she can talk to you about the times and when she will be available to make your replacement ID. I want to talk a little bit about our two major types of things that you'll hear over the announcements, and one really, if we ever come over the announcements and talk about being in a secure, what's that mean, Mr. Gaska?
So a secure means that there is some sort of incident that is happening outside in the neighborhood, outside of the building. It could be down the road, it could be across the street, but it is outside of the building.
And so we want to make sure that we lock all the exterior doors, and we are going to do, we'll still do teaching and learning here at the school, but we're going to make sure we put some extra precaution to keep the outside of the school secure. That's what we were in yesterday because the incident happened outside the campus. There was some confusion because there also was an ambulance here on campus. That was an unrelated event that a student needed medical attention, but the two weren't connected, and I think there was some confusion about that. We, of course, always want students to make sure that if you see something, you say something.
Yes, sir.
I think our students did a good job with that. But I want to talk, really the word we're using to define outside issues is secure. If there's something that happens on campus, that's when we go into lockdown, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The whatever the incident is actually happening inside the building.
And that's going to be where teaching and learning will kind of come to a hold because our number one priority will be making sure that if there's a threat inside the building, we're in a lockdown and we're dealing with that
Yes, sir.
immediate threat to our campus. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, we haven't had to go on lockdown. So, nothing has been here inside the campus. However, when events happen outside the campus, whether it be, close proximity or maybe even a further way, if the police department asks us to go into secure, we're going to do that.
The word is secure, which means nobody coming inside, nobody going outside the building, business as usual inside.
So there was some confusion. I want to make sure that we're clear on this. I'm coming in, I'm in the hallway, mm-hmm. and I hear we're in secure. Mm-hmm. Do I just go into the next classroom or do I go back to my regular classroom?
You go back to your classroom.
So it's, again, secure is outside, normal business, you return to your classroom.
Yes, sir.
Now, if we were in a lockdown, that's where
you go into the nearest place.
Yes, so, sir. Again, I want to really be clear about the two different words. Secure, outside, normal business inside the school building, teaching and learning happening. Lockdown is something that's happening there's a threat with inside the building that we need to handle immediately. So that's something that we would make sure that the verbiage is different. So I just want to make sure that students are aware. One of the things that you can really help us do to keep with campus security, don't spread rumors. While we say see something, say something, that's so important and we appreciate all of that. A lot of times though, it's not anything more than students kind of spreading rumors and
cherry picking information
and sometimes it's not even about our school. Sometimes right. There's other schools that are named Southwest High School throughout the country, and mm-hmm. somebody sees something and assumes that it's about us. Again, we always want you to see something, say something, but make sure you're telling either Mr. Gaska, myself. We have two SROs here, Officer Smith and Officer Kane, and allow us to do the investigative work to make sure that it's taken care of immediately. Don't share it. That's the biggest thing that happens is people start sharing things or, like you said, cherry picking information. And that actually causes our campus to be less safe because
yes,
we're spending our energy and efforts, trying to run down different avenues of what is true and what isn't true. So
yes,
for students, biggest thing you can do if you see something, take a screenshot, don't share it, bring it to us, and we'll work through it. But again, your safety is always our number one priority. I know that we spend numerous hours making sure that we go over our safety plans and make sure that we're doing our drills. The reason we do metal detectors throughout the school year is your safety. This isn't I'm trying to catch kids. It's to make sure our school is the safest place in the city of Fort Worth. So again, you have to do your part. You have to know the vocabulary that we're utilizing moving forward. You have to wear your ID. And again, I want to be clear about lunch. Off-campus lunch is a privilege. You graduated from here, right?
Yes, sir.
When you went here, and I won't say when, but off-campus lunch was a fun thing to do. Mm-hmm. But I want to be clear, it's a privilege. It was a privilege back then.
Yes, sir.
It's a privilege now. And those students who aren't taking advantage of the privilege are going to lose that privilege. And so if you get into any kind of altercation off campus that disrupts the learning environment here at Southwest, that we have to send officers or resources to, just understand that you've lost that privilege to go off campus. Secondly is, no one has to go off campus. Everyone who chooses to be on campus can eat for free and stay on campus. We're not forcing any student to go off campus to have lunch. If you choose to go off campus, that's a decision that you and your family have decided. And that's only for 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. We should never see 9th graders off campus. So understand the expectation is 9th graders eat here. If you're a 10th, 11th, and 12th grader and you understand the privilege and you respect the privilege of being off campus, that's one thing. However, if you don't, you are going to lose that privilege for a period of time. And that period of time is not going to be a week or 2 weeks. It's going to be, the minimum will be a semester. So again, make sure you're taking advantage of the privileges that we try to provide for you. Make sure you're doing your part in keeping our schools safe. Make sure you're communicating with the people whose responsibility is to keep the schools safe if you have any concerns. Mr. Gaskett, thank you so much for all you do. I appreciate you and the officers and your daily service. Till next time, go Raiders.